I really hope that y'all not throwing your scrap fabrics out as a fashion designer, because there's so many different things that you can do with it. And I want to show y'all how I took all of these black scrap fabrics and turned them into a high-end garment, especially because I was emotionally connected to it. And you should start being more emotionally connected to the things that you're doing, and stop forcing yourself to do things you really don't want to do, because it shows.
First things first, you know, we got to set the pattern up properly on the fabric, and then pinning and cutting is next.
So I don't know if y'all could see, but I have all of these scraps on my table right now. And honestly, it's just free flowing. So I don't even think about it. I just cut up mad rectangles, a whole bunch of pieces. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to sew a whole bunch of pieces together. I cut some things up, top stitch them on top. I'll take some strings and distress it. Like you can see these strings that's hanging off right here. I'll just take all of those, top stitch it on, and just, you know, like make it like a puzzle piece. Don't think about it too much. And that's why it's cool when you're just doing DIY design, because there's no structure. It's like you're freestyling. So as y'all can see, I sewed a whole bunch of pieces together. I top stitched. I just went crazy. Like I said, don't overthink it. And I even added some silver chrome details in between. Kind of looks a little trashy. Honestly, I'm debating if it should be a big pocket or it should be top stitch detail. I don't know what I'm doing, but that's what's fun about it. You literally just doing what you want to do, and it's like putting a puzzle piece together. And once everything is done, it turns into this beautiful avant-garde garment. So I'll take these scissors, and then you see this strip right here. I'll just snip a piece. And then what I'll do is I'll just take this and just rip it. So I'll just do a whole bunch of these, and then they'll turn out something like this. You feel me? So literally take anything, cut it up, act like you're in art class like when you was in 5th grade. You feel me? Like that's how you gotta move when it comes to creating art.
So I got inspiration from like New York architecture and the trash that I see in New York City, and figuring out a way to implement it into a high-end garment. And you'd be surprised how you can channel your emotions through your artwork, and to come up with more cost-efficient ways to enhance your wardrobe and your collections when you're designing clothes. Yo, investing in yourself is so important. I deadass do not have to go to the snap store all the way in Manhattan anymore. So I'm able to put snaps and grommets on all of my garments now that I have this. Now when I'm designing, I don't have as much structure as I used to, and it just makes the process so much more fun. But this is how the shorts came out. They have really intricate 3D pockets in the front, and then the back details mirror the front as well. And them straps with the silver chrome.
Today's the hottest day of the year so far. I think it's like 82 degrees, y'all, and I'm hyped, y'all. Listen, everybody know I don't play about the sun, yo. I need to get my vitamin D. I don't like to be in the wintertime. I hate feeling cold in New York City. I know a lot of y'all experience the winter blues. But when the sun comes out in New York, you start seeing people smiling when they're walking down the block. People start holding the door for each other. People start holding the train doors for each other. You feel me? Like, it's just like a fairy tale that starts coming alive in the city. So I'm hyped right now. I feel very inspired. And this is the time of year to take advantage of your creativity and get out of your comfort zone. Go network, go to a new coffee shop, sit down, enjoy lunch with a friend, because life is short and you want to make the best of it as much as possible. Yeah, I'm mad excited because I'm about to go to my first WNBA game in years, and Chicago Sky is facing New York Liberty. So it's about to be lit, yeah. I'm about to take y'all on an adventure with me. A lot of y'all may not know, but I actually gave up my basketball dreams to become a fashion designer and to step into the fashion industry. And I've been playing ball since I was like 7 years old, consistently. I used to play in a lot of leagues. I played AAU basketball. I went to hoop group, all that. So ball was life. Like, I used to play ball 7 days a week when we was in high school. We used to be in like 3 different gyms a day in the summertime. Feel me? So it's really powerful to me to be able to go into an environment where people are doing what they love, and it also is nostalgic for me to think back to where I was and where I'm at today.
We on the train with it. I just might do a series on the crazy things that I see in New York City.
Outside of my blooded, man. What's going on? It's my God B-Day. I had to take my son to a basketball game for his G-Day last month. Appreciate you. It's a little late blooded, but you know. We inside the lobby right now at the Barclays Center. They losing right now. It's 26-32 right now, but I'm jacking that they're gonna come back and win. But I'm rooting for Diamond to shield, so that's my dogs right there, yo. Hopefully she got like a 20-point game today. I won.
Barclays Center was lit. Tyler pulled up and Common pulled up too.
And Liberty lost, yo. I'm stressed right now, but it's all good, yo. Next game they gonna pick it up, bro. They lost. I'm sick right now, but it's all good, man. Yo, to be honest, that game was lit. I haven't been to a game that lit in a long time, and unfortunately, Chicago ended up beating Liberty. But I just wanted to talk about the game in itself, like just being in that atmosphere. It was so positive. It was so light. It was like refreshing, honestly, because I was just having like a rough week, to be fair. And just being around people who were supportive of New York and just seeing how many people popped out for the women on Liberty was really inspiring, yo. The thing that I didn't like about the game was that the referees were selling Liberty a lot. Like, I feel like Liberty was getting hacked. They were going to the basket and drawing a lot of fouls, and the referees weren't giving them any foul calls. And you'd be surprised, like, yo, a couple of free throws will make a difference of a momentum swing. But there was one call, I think, that was made where there was an offensive foul on Liberty, and it was an unnecessary call to me. I didn't think it was necessary. And it just so happened that Chicago hit a three-pointer after that, and I feel like that's when the momentum of the game shifted. And sometimes the referees have a big impact on how the game goes. And to be fair, I really think Liberty had that game. You're not where you want to be in your life right now, and that is okay. You have to remind yourself that everyone starts somewhere, and we're not going to solve all of our problems and our whole entire life in one single night. And I'm also learning that you don't have to be ashamed of where you're at in your life too. Focus on one small thing at a time. There's days where I have like a to-do list of like 10 different things that I want to do, and I'm just not going to get all 10 done, and that is okay. That doesn't make me any less of a human being. That doesn't mean that I'm not good enough. It just means that I'm human and that things take time. Do I trust myself? That's what you have to ask yourself when you're feeling stuck or when you're feeling hesitant about making decisions in your life. All of the accomplishments and things that you've done in your life have been an accumulation of a whole bunch of decisions and choices that added up to each other. And if you were able to make it this far, why wouldn't you be able to do that in the next 5 or 10 years? I really believe if you write down all of the accomplishments and good things that you've done in your life within like the past 5 or 10 years, I guarantee you start feeling much more better about yourself. But it's so much easier to compare and make ourselves feel like we're not doing enough or we're not good enough because there's somebody out there better than us, or, you know, people around us make us feel like we're inadequate, especially with capitalism when we're at our jobs. But essentially, you've done a lot in your life and you're just not even paying attention to the things that you've done. As cliche as it sounds, you have so many things right now in your possession or around you that you once wanted, and it took a long time to get there. Maybe it took a short amount of time, but at some point you got to where you wanted to be, or you got something similar. And a lot of times when people get denied from jobs or when people get denied from something that they want, I don't look at it as like a loss. I look at it like you are being redirected to something better that is fit for you. Can I make the best with what I have? I had moments where I wanted the camera that I'm using right now. And I always wanted to just have better quality videos. And I'm like, damn, I'm not really doing enough. And I want to, you know what I'm saying? And I had an iPhone. And I was asking myself, why don't I just use the iPhone and build my way up to getting my camera over time? But a lot of times we have something good, right? Or we have something that we could utilize to make videos, make content as a creative, or, you know, just design something with some fabric in our room or upcycle something. But oftentimes we're like, nah, I don't really got the fabric that I want exactly. I don't have the camera that I want. I don't have the piece of whatever to expand my vision as a videographer or a music artist. It's like, yo, we got a phone. You got some headphones. You can record a song in the bathroom and make a reference track. Why are we trying to get the exact thing that we need to get started? You could get started with so much smaller and so much less. And that's what I had to realize. And I started making a lot of music for myself when I started my music journey on my laptop with like a $45 microphone. And I used to just go in the bathroom at night, or I would just be in my room late at night under my pillows, you feel me, like under the covers, and just recording things and just figuring out my sound, figuring out what works for me, figuring out what type of beats I like. And nobody was around to see it. And I always felt like I wasn't good enough and I want to keep getting better. But it's been, what, year 7 or 8 now since I've been doing this, and I feel more confident in myself because I started somewhere, and you have to start somewhere. Same thing with fashion design. When I first started, I felt down because I was like, yo, I don't understand pattern making. I don't know how to construct a pair of pants. But what I did was I started taking fabric, I started cutting it up, I started taking things from the thrift store, and upcycling them. I started taking sleeves apart, sewing them back together. I started taking zipper flies apart and analyzing how they were put together. And it's not gonna happen overnight, but little by little, you start piecing things together. Certain things start making sense. The more mistakes that I started making, the more confident I started feeling because I was able to explain it to somebody else about how I was able to do it. And now I'm making a whole bunch of garments like these. So this episode for me personally was to just be able to show y'all that I have a whole bunch of scrap fabrics that I would normally throw in the garbage because I hate having scrap fabrics all over the place. And what I could do was essentially take those pieces and turn them into like a $2,000 garment, a high-end garment. And you can make anything look luxurious or high-end or high quality. It's just about the time and the energy that you put into it, and you have to believe that. So I'm really excited because I love the way that these shorts turned out, and these are the first pair of shorts that I've designed essentially in a long time. And me, pushing myself out of my comfort zone to do this, it took a lot of patience. I made a lot of mistakes. I had to seam rip a lot of things. But the next time, I'm going to try to, I'm going to try to beat myself and how I was able to do that. I'm going to try to strive higher. I'm going to try to create something even more extravagant than that. And that's why it's essential to even push yourself out your comfort zone. Not for necessarily everybody else to see, but just for yourself. I started feeling so much more efficient and creative when I wasn't designing for social media or trying to put my designs out for everybody to see. I have so many designs that I never even showed the world. And even just recording the process sometimes can be draining, right? Because it's different parts of your brain that you're working. I'm coming up with the design, I'm sewing it, I'm fixing the thread on the machine, and then I have to turn on the camera. And then I have to adjust the camera, fix the ISO, or I gotta, analyze like how I'm gonna change something in the garment. And it's a lot sometimes. I could do it, but I'm more efficient and faster when I'm not using the camera. And I had to practice working on my garments and, striving to perfect my craft in the way that I wanted to before I started putting it out in the world again. And that's why it's essential that you don't have to feel pressure to try to record the process all the time. It's good too because you're documenting the process, but spend more time, investing in the craft and be more connected to it. As if you're spending time with a significant other. You're not going to record yourself with your significant other every single day, every moment of the day, because it's going to take away from the present moment. You're not going to be present with them, right? So essentially you want to be able to work on your craft, whether it's music, makeup, you developing any skill that you want to do. Try to spend time with it in a way where you're investing all of your attention to that first, and then afterwards, if you want to be a content creator or create content around what you're doing, at least you're doing it when you feel comfortable in what you're doing. But that's why it's frustrating, and that's why there's a lot of resistance sometimes when you're trying to simultaneously do so much at one time. You have to prioritize what matters to you first, and quality matters to me first. So I like to take a step back and then come back to it again. Y'all really don't understand how fashion design really changed my life, whenever I felt stressed, whenever I felt confused, or I felt like I wasn't sure of where I was going in my life, I always felt so sure that making something new was gonna just allow me to step into a whole new universe. And I'm so appreciative of being able to create and having that freedom, because a lot of times we take things for granted. Like the fact that you could just get up and decide, I'm about to go to the gym, I'm gonna go to the park, I'm about to call one of my mans, I'm gonna call one of my friends and shit. It's a blessing, yo. And creating certain garments in the past, it was cool to put it out into the universe and show people that I made it, and I'm marketing myself. But essentially that feeling of joy that you get from bringing something to life is kind of like your baby. You have an emotional connection to it. And I just want to remind y'all of how important it is to be emotionally connected to the things that you're doing, because people could feel that. And a lot of times it got to the point where people in the street would just ask me yo, did you make your stuff? And I'm like, yeah, how'd you know? And they're like, it's just because the way it looks or the way it fits you, it just seems like it fits you. But it's not just me. It's when you're really connected to something, people can really feel that. Stop worrying about what other people are going to perceive you as. Stop listening to other people in terms of what they think you should do with your life, because a lot of times we all figuring it out. A lot of people have good expertise and a lot of experience in certain areas, of course. I listen to people and take things into consideration, but essentially my path is my path, and a lot of the best things that has happened to me was because I chose to go my own way and I learned from my mistakes, and you should have the power to do the same too. What's the best part about designing your own clothes? I feel like people ask that all the time.
essentially it's like, yo, you have an idea, you have an emotion, right? And you feel something and then you transmute it. You literally manifest something into reality to the point where you step outside and people can acknowledge something that you created with your whole heart. That's so beautiful to me. Like, I love the fact that I could just make something, or I just like made a skirt, and I could do a photo shoot with it. I can sell it. I can give it to somebody as a gift. I could just challenge myself and challenge my creativity, because I don't even make women's clothes that often. But how do you stay connected to the things that you're creating? Literally by getting in tune with your emotions and actually feeling things on a deep level. And that's why art and fashion and music is so powerful, because you're able to feel things that some people may not be able to articulate. And there's certain emotions that I felt that I couldn't articulate, and then I put it into my designs. But I love futuristic fabrics. I love three-dimensional shapes. I love looking at architecture. And there's so many things around us that we can get inspired by. So if you're looking to figure out ways into how to expand your creativity, pay attention to your surroundings. Maybe you can go to a museum. Use your different senses, right? So oftentimes, like, let's say if you want to design a dress inspired by a red velvet cake, what is the color of the red velvet cake? Maybe you can get some fabric swatches that resembles that. If the cake is like has like a rich chocolatey, moist taste, like, get some maybe silk fabric and figure out ways that you can express that emotion or that sense that you were able to experience into the garment. And there's so many different ways to do that. So pay attention to things in your surroundings, maybe about 3 to 4 things a day, and maybe create a sketch or a concept off of that emotion or off of that sense. If you're using your vision, hearing, auditory things. If I hear a certain noise from a plane, like, or I hear certain noises from the train or certain vibrations from certain things, what does that make you feel? How can you translate that into fabric? How can you create a certain silhouette? It's not, you don't always have to feel like you have to look on the internet for inspiration. And you can also get inspired through conversations that you have with people as well too. Yeah, I don't know how many middle-aged people I talk to who tell me that they have regrets in life about not taking the leap to do certain things that they wanted to do, and they wish they could get the time back. So I'm telling you right now, yo, like, if you got the chance and the ability to start something new, to start that new journey creatively, to delve into a new job and new opportunities, then do it, yo. Especially with the internet right now, like, we got so much access to different information on TikTok. We got different information on the internet. We have different people that we can reach out to, different databases. There's no excuse to figure out how to expand within a certain industry, a certain space. And I believe that you have to tell yourself that you deserve to expand and achieve the things that you want to achieve. It starts there. It starts in the mind. You do deserve that. You do deserve to, get abundance in your life. You do deserve to change your life and not live in mediocrity. You also deserve to not struggle anymore. You don't have to hold on to that belief because other people are projecting that onto you. So today I just wanted to, express my gratitude for y'all and just reminding me that, like, everything that I'm doing is for a bigger purpose. Because a lot of times as the creator, I understand that you can be really hard on yourself and it might seem like whatever it is that you're doing is not enough. But it is enough. And the fact that you're taking the initiative to do something is making a difference in the world in some way, yo.